Welcome to the Unrefined Project. My name is Travis. This is my buddy Dave. How we doing?
Ain't nobody better than me, and the cream will rise to the top.
Okay. Wow. Very unexpected. This week we do have Macho Man on the boards. Macho Man, how we doing?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Doing good.
We are in here after a little bit of a hiatus, but before I kick it over to Dave for the rundown, I just wanted to say tomorrow is Father's Day. We will not be podcasting.
Well, technically, today is Father's Day. This isn't coming out till Sunday.
Yeah, but we're in Saturday. See,
it's Father's Day today. Happy Father's Day to me.
The strange thing about the simulation is you forget what day it is.
That's
happens
true.
all the time.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I believe
It's a glitch.
I believe tomorrow we are celebrating Father's Day as a nation. It also happens to be June 19th.
Juneteenth.
But in all seriousness, I do want to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Please, tomorrow, take some time to just be with your families. Try and be the best father and husband you can be. And if you are not either of those things, just try and be the best man you can be, because this nation really needs some good, strong men right now. So with that out of the way, let's give it to Dave for the rundown.
All right, so this week's a little different. Travis obviously went on a trip last weekend. That's why we didn't do a show. He apparently has a surprise for us. I don't really want to see what's in his pants, but maybe that's what it is. And then we're going to shoot over to red flag laws. Are they good? Are they bad? I do want to ask everybody a question out there. With the inflation, with the recession that's pretty much already going on, do you feel better now about your voting choices? Or were we better under Trump as compared to Biden? Where do you think we're going from here? Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Check us out we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Anywhere you can find your audio podcast, we're on there too. If you're listening on audio, you got to check out my Macho Man Randy Savage little impression right there.
That's
Face
right.
gets red. I got a little creamer. Come on, you got to watch it. Watch it on YouTube or Rumble, preferably Rumble. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you get bored, fucking tune out. Go watch something else. I don't give a shit.
Well, we are filming these things.
Ain't nobody better than me. Ain't nobody.
We were talking about old school heroes that we all used to enjoy when we were kids, and then David just turned into Macho Man. So that's
Fucking
fun.
coked out and shit, Macho Man. That guy was hilarious, though.
Yeah, there were a lot of characters, a lot of memories. Gotta love the vaporware aesthetics of the clothing choices and the filming technology of the time. But
Yep.
yeah, so we went on a road trip, went back home to visit a decent amount of my immediate mom's side of my family.
I'm sorry.
It was a little hectic.
I'm just kidding. I don't know his mom's side of the family. It's a joke.
There's 8 of them. She's one of 8. The majority of them are still in the town that they grew up in. We have a few here and there's East and West Coast, but there was like 60, 80 of us, something like that. And that's probably about a third of the family. If we were to do my grandparents' siblings and stuff, there'd be well over 100. But
How was the road trip?
it was solid. I've mentioned this. I've mentioned this on this before. I said this to my brother-in-law earlier. You really want to know if you can vibe with a chick that you're dating. You're questioning if she's the one. Want to be married to her for the rest of life. Take a road trip with her. And I can second that. If you're having a midlife crisis and wondering if you want to have a family or not, spend 2 solid weeks in a car with your family, and you're going to find out real quick whether...
We've done the road trip out to Omaha once with the kids in the car, and I realized after the road trip I didn't want kids. But we already had them.
But it was already too late.
So,
Too late.
yeah.
Shucks.
We told them when we got there, we're like, hey, we've decided we don't want kids. It didn't go over too well with
Swing
them.
and a miss.
Yeah,
A fun game that we like to play, since our kids can't really understand us yet when we're bantering back and forth in the front, is fun places to just leave them. That's always nice to fantasize about, especially when you're in the desert.
Walmart.
A lot of creepy parking lots. Just the middle of nowhere is a good place as well, right? When it's just hot and vultures are already circling.
Yep,
I give them minutes. I give them minutes of survival, not even hours. But
Come back in a week, they're just wildlings,
or bones. Just dead. dead. But no, it was solid. We swung down to Vegas, kicked it for a couple days, met some friends, hit Moab, and then did I-70 to Denver. Beautiful stretch of highway. Have not done that little connection yet. Hitting Airbnbs, hotel rooms, trying to vibe in the towns a little bit, do breakfast. It was good. And then we got to Denver. The kids had a little thing, nothing crazy. They were just kind of warm. They were kind of throwing a temper tantrum, whatever. So we had plans to like kind of go out on the town that
Kids
night.
will be kids.
Yeah. So we stayed in, whatever. So we kind of, did a little pre-check plan. I got the map back out. I'm like, hey, we're planning on going to Kansas, but we can shave a few hours off.
Did you just say the map?
Oh yeah. Physical map.
Like minor attracted person?
Negative.
Wrong map.
Actually, so we're headed east through the United States, and we're getting as far away from that as
Yeah.
right. But no,
Well, the farther away from it you get, the closer to the East Coast you get, the closer you get to that
line.
side. So
it's a fine line. We have to walk there. But no, so we were like, hey, we can go down to Kansas, shave a few hours off, we go through Nebraska. And my wife, I could tell my wife was like, let's get there, let's get out of the car, kind of thing. And so yeah, we did the stretch of Nebraska on I-80 twice, and she really got a feel for.
When you enter from Wyoming into Nebraska on I-80, there really needs to be a sign that says, "Sorry, it's a fucking long drive to Omaha. It's 9 to 10 hours of nothing."
Yeah, we were joking. It's the only state that instead of having a welcome sign, it should be a "We're sorry" sign.
Absolutely. I think they did that on a South Park episode. Well, it said, "Welcome to Nebraska. We're sorry," and then there was tumbleweeds blowing by.
She was a good sport. She got to see how hot and humid it can still be, and then still have it rain, right? So that happened in Omaha. We were like running away from a storm.
Omaha's a nice city. I lived there when I was in my early 20s. Loved it. It was a beautiful city.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I've been to Omaha a bunch. But we made it there. It was a late night. We had a cool Airbnb that we just kind of crashed out in, did some laundry, woke up the next day, explored a little bit, and hung out on the north side of town, hit AJ's for a little breakfast, little diner. And we found a very cool little gun store. The gun store that I found was called Inner 10. It's an indoor firing range as well as a gun store. So it's an FFL. They can sell, firearms and all the little goodies that go with that. Anyway, I rolled in, just wanted to poke around a little bit. I like to check these places out, see what they got, and just kind of look at what freedom actually looks like. But
yeah, we're missing that here.
But yeah, so got to chopping it up with a dude, and I was like, "Hey, do you have any swag, hats, t-shirts?" And they were kind of whatever, And I was like, "Anything else?" He's like, "Well, I've got some patches over there," and he pointed to a wall, and it had like all these really cool custom PVC patches, which I'm kind of into. I'm a patch nerd. I like having some Velcro back patches, and turns out he has his own company. He's been designing his own patches and sourcing the material himself and whipping them up and selling them on his website. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to David and Poppins Patches. So poppinspatches.com. Check them out. They've got, your typical swag stuff, but they really are doing a solid job in the patch department, which people like me appreciate. So yeah, Poppins.
And what was the name of that store too?
Inner 10 Weapons and Training. Easy to find on Google. North-ish.
Boys Town area.
No, it was further north than Boys Town because we had made our way north from that point.
Yeah.
But it's in northeast Omaha. You should be able to find them. Cool guys in there, very helpful and nice, which was a nice change.
All right, so Travis has been teasing me with this for a while since he got back, right? He's got a surprise for us. It's not I hope it's not a physical surprise because I don't want it at that point.
It is a physical surprise.
Is it a physical surprise?
Something in a bag.
Damn it.
It's been concealed from your vision. This is going to be a very natural reaction that we're going to get on camera. So when I bust this out real quick.
It better not be like Christina Aguilera's bedazzled dildo that she was wearing during her concert.
No, I can't outdo that.
Yeah, okay.
I can't outdo that. She looked like the lead singer of Gwar.
Swinger too, yeah.
She looked like Gwar. You know those Gwar shows? Anyways. So yeah, did the trip. I had a couple of packages that were pending I thought would get to my house before I left for 2 weeks, no problem. I purchased some stuff from a company, and it was tracking fine, and it was from Canada. And as soon as it crossed the international border, it just went radio silence. wasn't able to get tracking information. I figured USPS had it in their possession at that point. So
Trudeau probably had it.
So check it out. Part of the order was freeze-dried food.
From Canada?
Technically, it most recently came from Canada. But this, Peak Refuel here, is an American company. This was vacuum sealed, processed. The entire process was completed, done in the bag in the United States. So right here, all the good information's on it.
But
right?
it came from Canada.
But it was sent to Canada to a retailer's store's website to be purchased online.
Yeah.
So if you try and go to this company's website and the other company, which people are a little bit more familiar with, Mountain House, if you try and go to Mountain House's website, for example, they have been out of stock of basically everything for the last 6 months. You cannot get this stuff. However, someone like the company that I went through does have this stuff on hand. They were able to order enough of it to be able to sell through their storefront.
Yeah.
And so I was able to procure it through them, right? So apparently my package was just lost in translation for multiple weeks. Couldn't get any information out of it. I was trying to email the company back and forth when I was on vacation. The day that I got back, literally the day that I got back, because I had my neighbor check the night before, my package just mysteriously appeared on my door. And it was supposed to be full of packages like this. I ordered about 9-10 of them.
Yeah.
And 4 number 10 cans. Okay? I spent good fiat on this. Good money.
Yeah.
Apparently LAX decided that they were going to confiscate
For what?
the majority of my order. And when I say the majority,
It's food.
I got this. I got 2 things like this that are granola.
Yeah.
And I got 2 of my 4 number 10 cans. One was a beef stew. Another was a spaghetti.
Why did it go to L.A.? That makes no sense.
It's a port of entry. So coming from...
So is San Francisco.
Is it?
San Francisco is much closer, yeah.
I don't know. Why do you lay over in Dallas to fly to Iowa? I don't know these things.
I don't know, because the earth is flat, apparently.
So date issued 6/9 of 22. That was right in the middle of our road trip. To the port of entry, Los Angeles International Airport. So this is LAX. And it basically says this is a mail interception notice from the U.S. Department of Agricultural, Animal, and Plant Health Inspection. The intercepted material, remnant or swine materials from FMD-SR regions. Pork, porcine remnant or swine materials from FMD-SR2 regions, kilograms. They said it is a prohibited material. It has been removed and destroyed.
It's from United States to sell in Canada to come back to United States, but they removed it.
It gets better.
What the fuck?
So I wrote the company. That's what I wanted to catch, by the way, on the camera.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
The ridiculous's of it.
That's pretty
there.
funny.
Imagine my surprise.
And the cream will rise to the top. Fucking A.
Not in the federal government, apparently.
Oh, my God.
Cream's probably prohibited, just like Peppa Pig.
I know. I'll probably get these taken
So
from
you know
me
what the
too.
funny thing is? This is why I wanted to show this on screen. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a breakfast skillet, and the main ingredient is...
Eggs, sausage, potatoes, and pepper.
Sausage.
Pork.
Sausage. So they stole...
That's pretty funny.
Chicken and rice from me.
Yeah.
Got to be a lot of pork in that. They stole chicken masala. They stole... like almost $200.
And even the cans of shit's made here in the United States
Mountain
too.
House is even more well known of a product made here.
Oh,
in the
the
United States.
cans were Mountain House.
Yes, number 10 cans from Mountain House. Good old number 10 cans that you cannot find on their website now. But
That
you can
shit's
find
funny.
right? So it gets better.
Maybe Trudeau dressed them up in blackface, and that's why they confiscated them.
So it says these violations, the material described below was found to be moving in the mail in violation of agricultural quarantine regulation pertaining to the entry and movement of plants, plant products, animal products, soil, and plant pests. These violations may result in criminal or civil penalties.
Nice.
So is this one of those things? And I want to ask you viewers, please comment on me below, because I don't have, this is my first time I've had this. If I respond to this in any way or attempt to even give these assholes a call and find out why they literally stole food from me, am I like admitting guilt at that point? And will my complaint foster an investigation or potential fines?
Maybe they're
Is this
bored.
like a, hey, shut up and don't say anything or we'll fuck with you?
I don't know. That's pretty fucked up. It was made here. You know, you can purchase it in California. You purchased it online. It didn't say you can't sell it to California, but since it went to Canada, we don't really want like products from Canada, though, right? You know, people, that's all right.
This is a
With
preparedness.
products, no. Come on.
This is a preparedness.
The what? The syrup, yeah. The
company,
syrup's great.
right? And they are based in survival and preparedness products, and they have a YouTube channel. I've
That's
watched
pretty
this dude
crazy.
for years.
That's a good surprise.
So hey, you want my theory? You want my conspiracy theory?
Do it. Hit it.
The federal government does not want you self-reliant. Because I contacted this company.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, this is exactly what was thefted from me. I highlighted it on my order.
Yeah.
About 12 items.
What'd they say?
They said, hey, you're not the only one that this has happened to. This is happening only frequently, only recently, but very frequently.
I wonder what changed. I
Hey,
wonder if they're just confiscating shit because they have like a quota that they have to confiscate. Like there has to be a certain amount of things from out of the country. Hey, we need this, we need that.
Maybe it's we've noticed a lot more of this freeze-dried food being sent to houses, and we can't be having people independent of our grocery stores and our weak-ass supply chain.
Or
that's pretty crazy.
Customs probably forgot to bring their lunch, and they were hungry.
Now, you know that shit didn't get thrown away. You know it didn't get thrown away. You know that shit went in somebody else's pantry.
That looks good.
They want some, you guys want some cream too? Come on. I know you want some cream.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm a little heated. I don't really know what to do about this. I mean, I'd love to stir some shit up. But I need to kind of watch,
I don't know.
Watch what I'm doing with this. So
welcome to California.
If you have advice or anything, let us know.
Welcome to California. That's our state.
Get your food, people. Your government does not want you independent.
I think I've got I did Ready Hour.
That's a good company.
You know, they got that big 5-gallon buckets of food. It's just a bunch of bags. The thing that you want to watch
out is do a little research for is just research how they go about freeze drying.
Yeah,
the process that they use is the most important part. So
I think it's My Patriot Supply is what I used. It's more on the expensive side, but it's actually it's a lot of food for what you have. It's a lot of calories, right?
I definitely think that there's like tiers and levels of that kind of stuff. I've kind of always stuck to Mountain House.
Yeah,
they're kind of like the gold standard, if you will. But yeah, so I wanted to keep that a surprise. I figured you guys would get a kick out of that. So
that was pretty funny.
So yeah, man.
Another thing that happened this morning that we'd like to talk about, and we have like a little meme of already. So Joe Biden, Joe Obama, whatever you want to call this piece of crap, he was riding his bicycle. Yes, he rides a bicycle.
Every day?
And he's 79 years old. I think he's 79 years old, something like that. You know, when you put a 79-year-old on a bicycle, you should probably put training wheels on it.
Balance.
So
man.
apparently he was riding his bike by his house and he went to stop and his foot got caught. We all fall off bikes. I'm not saying anything about it, but if it's any representation of what's going on in the economy right now, I think that's the perfect representation of it. Go to picture number 1. There's a meme right there. So it says, I hope the economy doesn't collapse this year. And the economy is Joe Biden falling off his bike. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. He's an old guy. It happens, right? We've all fallen off of bikes, usually when we're about 5.
I don't ride bikes because I'm afraid this will happen to me.
Yeah, but at that point, just put him in his basement, give him some mac and cheese, let him watch Matlock, just to keep the guy off of camera. He's ruined this economy. He's destroyed any semblance of what America is supposed to look like. And I'm not talking about, what, we had under other presidents and stuff like that, but how we had it for 4 years before him, or 3 years, right? So he's ruined it. He's completely ruined it. And then he falls off his bike, just icing on the cake. He says he's not hurt, but it's just like, hide the guy. If anybody's listening, hide the guy in his basement. Don't let him speak. Don't let him talk.
They'll just roll out a celebrity to speak for him.
Matthew McConaughey,
and continue the agenda forward. Right? We know these ideas are not original. We know that the agenda is not.
We need American values, family values, American values.
I don't know. You want to put your money where your mouth is. Yeah. You feel so badly about guns. Stop using them to get rich in movies.
I don't. That whole I don't know if everybody's seen the Matthew McConaughey speech. He did it was more of a speech than anything, right? He did because he was born in and raised partly in Uvalde, Texas.
He learned
So
to
he came
shoot
to
a
the
BB
White
gun
House
in Uvalde.
and a shotgun, apparently, right? So he came to the White House, and I watched the whole 20-minute video, and he goes on talking about, we need American values, we need family values, we need all this other crap in his all right voice.
It sounded
Really
decent
good
at first.
until he got into the gun control aspect of it, right? There's been a hot topic about the age limits, right? So if you've got to be 21 to purchase a handgun in most states, I think all states, it's a federal law, right? Or 21 now if they want to change like rifles and stuff like that to be 21. Well, then an 18-year-old should not be allowed to go into the military.
I agree 100%.
Right? An 18-year-old should, if you're saying that our children nowadays are not mature enough to do this at 18, then why are they allowed to go into the military? Why are, even here in California, cigarettes, you can't buy cigarettes until you're 21 now. Right? Okay, are you telling us that the kids are more immature now? And if that's the case, is that a bad parenting thing? Blah, blah, blah. So that kind of bothered me about him talking about it. Everything was really good up until that point.
Well, the hypocrisy starts to show, right? Because you can take some other examples of things that they're trying to lower the age on. Trying to lower voting
age to 16. Yeah, that's insane.
I would argue, who's to say that a vote isn't even more powerful than a firearm?
A vote is more powerful than a firearm, right? A vote changes what millions of people are to have to put up with. You know what I mean?
Future generations.
Future generations, right? And millions and billions of people along the road, right? A vote counts more than some dumbass doing something stupid with a firearm one time or two times. You know what I mean? It does. It really does. I don't know. That's insane to me.
It's a big problem, and we are seeing this a lot lately with this whole, we're not going to infringe on your rights, and you should still be able to have everything that you want and give these weapons of war up, and we've heard all of the kind of talking points at this point. But one of the things that I'm a little concerned about that's been gaining a lot of traction lately is red flag laws. And that's something that McConaughey talked about a little bit in the statements.
And he did say something that I thought was really, okay, if you want to talk red flag laws, don't talk to me. I don't give a shit, right? I think it's garbage. But he did say that if somebody abuses those laws, like say, I don't like my neighbor and I know he's got all this stuff, I can turn him in. I should get in a lot of trouble if it's proven to be false.
Okay.
Right? So if I tell on somebody just because I don't like them, right, and then it comes out to be false that he doesn't need, that kind of treatment, you know what I mean? I should be put in prison for that, which I agree with if they're going to do it, but I don't think it should be done in the first place.
Yeah, but the problem is that law or that intent will never be applied evenly.
Oh, of course it won't.
It will be for the people that are connected and in. It's like the FOIA request bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Look at old HB sliding in, doing a bunch of work for other countries, lobbying for other countries for years. Never signed up as a lobbyist at all. Didn't get hit with one FOIA violation. And then you have Papadopoulos and the other guy that did it one time. Right.
Yep.
So, the big problem with red flag laws that I see is it's not going to be applied evenly. I mean,
of course
look at falsifications of a rape. Fake rape allegations.
Yeah, usually the woman doesn't.
Look at fake hate crime.
Yeah, well, I mean with Juicy Smollett, he got in trouble. Finally someone gets in trouble for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, is he in trouble?
He went to jail. I don't know.
It's what the media said. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they're making an example out of him. Maybe some things are changing depending on where you live, depending on how how the governments run there, stuff like that. But
at this point in time, I don't think we can rely on the justice system to apply the law blindly and evenly.
They can't.
We've been given that example time and time again. Yeah. So why should we give so much more power to that same broken system? Red flag laws are completely vague, unambiguous, and do not involve you at all until your door is getting kicked in.
Yep.
That is a complete and utter direct violation of multiple of your constitutional rights.
Yeah.
So not only do we have the old constitutionality conversation of it, But we also have the huge, scary, gross, slippery slope that is the idea of a red flag law.
Yeah, saying, hey, I don't like you. I can tell on you and blah, blah, blah. And then you have your Second Amendment basically ripped away from you.
Without you even knowing.
Because Karen lives next door, right?
So the way the red flag laws work, right? We want to try and educate a little bit and talk a little bit about what the idea, because California already has this.
Yeah.
Red flag laws nationwide.
So does New York.
Wouldn't affect a California law to the majority. Actually, the majority of the laws that the nation is attempting to do now, California's been dealing with for like the last 5-10 years, right? So the idea of a red flag law, okay? You show signs of some sketchy behavior that one of your neighbors sees, and they have the ability to call in the police and say, hey, we need to check out what's going on with this guy.
Yeah, there's no due process there, right? If they come to your house and because your neighbor said something, they remove your rights. There's no due process in that, right? And our government is founded on, or our law system, whatever you want to call it, is founded on due process, right? Innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
That's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's worked since the beginning of this country, and that's the way it needs to stay.
Well, I mean, that's part of your Fifth Amendment, right?
Yeah.
And your ability to plead, be silent. But, the problem arises before your door ever even gets kicked in, before you get that knock on the door, right?
Yeah.
They actually hold a hearing about you without you present. And they assess and decide whether or not you're actually a threat or not. Without you even being at the, without you even knowing that the hearing's happening.
Would this really have stopped a lot of the mass shootings that have happened?
Absolutely not.
A lot of these people, not like the kid in Uvalde. There was a lot of signs missed there for that kid being screwed up in the head. The cops didn't do what they were supposed to do that day. There should have been security at that school. That school should have been secure. The door shouldn't have been propped up. There's a lot of things they could say about this, but when they go and they say, okay, we need to raise the age limit now. We need red flag laws. They're doing it. Not preemptively, they're doing it reactionary, right? Saying, oh, well, this could have stopped it. Yep. Well, this could have stopped it. No, so from now on, we're very reactionary society, right? We wait for something to happen, then we react to it, right?
Yes.
As compared to preemptive, right? Secure our schools, secure this, secure our churches,
Well, but that's one of my huge problems with public schools in the first place, is that they're the only public building that is a soft target.
Yeah.
Name any other public government building. It's going to have some form of security guard, security system. Something is in place to prevent an individual from just walking in willy-nilly like you can at any one of the 10,000 elementary, middle, high schools that we have in the country.
Yeah.
So, the idea of a soft target, it completely disgusts me. The fact that we think that a sign is going to stop some individual with a tool with intent, because that's all this is when it boils down to.
How do you feel about background checks?
We have background checks.
What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, like,
or all states.
We have background checks in a federal background check.
Federal background check. Yeah, that already exists. In 1986, that was law that was written into place, and it created the NICS system, the National Institute for Federal Back. I don't know. My buddies will kill me, because here's the thing. Living in California and trying to follow the laws of the gun world, you basically become a lawyer yourself. You have to know a lot of this kind of stuff because it'll get you caught up. So in order to purchase a firearm within these United States, you have to fill out what is known as a 4473 form. That 4473 form has a series of questions that dives into your background. It gets your pertinent information and uses that to cross-reference a national database of known criminals. If you get a hit on the NICS system, you are denied the ability to purchase a firearm. So, Brandon Herrera went down to the NRA convention event that they were protesting right after the Uvalde shooting.
Yeah.
And he is a gun guy. He's a YouTuber. He's into AKs and stuff. And he literally just walked around and asked people questions. They said, the majority of them said, well, we just need background checks. And he, did the whole thing like, oh yeah, it would be really nice if we had a system where they could just instantly check someone's background and know if they were a criminal or not, right? He's talking about the NICS system.
Yeah.
It already exists. It's already a thing in place. I've, in Minecraft, filled out a lot of 4473 forms, right? For legal reasons, this is just a joke.
Do you feel it's effective? Because in this case...
Do I feel it's effective as effective in stopping these mass atrocities?
Right.
No.
No, because a person's not a mass shooter until they're a mass shooter, right? They're not going to go and do it twice, right? There's something wrong with that person, and they do it once, and that's it. That's usually that's that. I mean, that's it, right? There's no
an 18-year-old won't have criminal history. Of
course,
he just turned 18.
Well, they don't. They don't check juvenile records, but they do check if it's juvenile felonies. If it's just a misdemeanors, stuff like that, I don't think it pops up. But if it is a felony, it's with you for life.
So that's one of the new laws that they're proposing under this Save the Kids.
That you'll see all the misdemeanors from when the kid was younger, right?
Is that your background check will be delayed if you are between the ages of 21, so they
18
can
to
go
21
in and do extra background work within the jurisdiction, within the zip code, the area that you're filling out the 4473. That they can cross-reference your background and your history with
but that takes
juvenile.
There's a lot of problems with that. That takes a person that's clean, that's just a normal person, and removes their due process. That's guilty until proven innocent, right?
A right delayed is a right denied.
That's exactly. So
well, I mean, look at the 10-day waiting period in the state of California. We've talked about that a little bit on
which
the show
doesn't
as
make
well.
sense. You can own 10 guns in California, and they're still going to make you wait for another one. It's
even though they say
I don't understand. I don't understand.
They call it a cooling off period in order to prevent, a domestic.
Yeah, when someone's mad or something like that.
A distraught husband that just caught his wife cheating.
I never understood that one.
It's complete bullshit. It's a lie. They know it's a lie, and it is another one of 1,000 paper cuts to prevent citizens from owning firearms.
Yeah.
So I was listening to Colion. We hit a lot of podcasts when we were road tripping. Just a quick shout out to my wife. She was a trooper. She killed it. My kids crushed it. It was a really, really fun time. Listened to a lot of podcasts, jammed some music and stuff. But one of the ones that was kind of interesting that stuck out to me, I haven't listened to Rogan in a while. He had Colion Noir on.
Yeah.
I've worn Colion shirts before on this show. I have a couple of them before. Great stuff. Shout out. And he is a lawyer. He's a 2A advocate. He used to do a lot of advertising and promoting for the NRA. Whatever. The NRA doesn't do it for me. If it does for you, great. No big deal. He's kind of vilified on the YouTubes, and, he does a bunch of channels and stuff. So he was on there, and they were kind of pussyfooting around the Uvalde thing, and it kind of pissed me off. Because we need to have more people say exactly this. Those men that stood outside that building while children were killed are cowards.
Pussies.
And they should never,
sorry, I sneezed.
ever be allowed another public position again.
Oh, yeah.
And that should be if you call yourself a Second Amendment advocate, that should be your exact stance and your verbiage every single time.
That's their sworn duty.
Yeah. They
That
signed
is
up for the
what
job. If you
you're
can't
there
do it,
for, dude.
don't sign up for it, right?
You have some voice over the radio telling you no, you put that fucking radio down, you go do your job.
Yeah.
So everyone
They signed up for it.
Everyone knows how I feel about this situation. I've voiced my opinion on this podcast before, but it kind of ticks me off to see, people that are supposed to be saying that kind of pussyfoot around that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe they shouldn't be. Maybe they should find another position, right? But it's like,
well, they get stuck in that corner of back the blue, right? So you got to back. So there's the two sides, right? You either back the blue or you hate the blue, and they're corrupt and all this shit. But yet you want them to be the only ones with guns. That doesn't make sense. And then if you're backing the blue, you've got to call out bullshit when you see it. You've got to tell them, hey, what you did there in Uvalde was pussy. Sorry, I sneezed again.
We're all humans, and to blanket state any group of humans is kind of narrow-minded thinking, because that group is made up of individuals.
Yeah.
Right? The smallest minority that needs the most protection is the individual.
Yeah.
We've talked about that as well. So, in order to, it's like being critical of your government and still supporting the individuals that create your military, right?
Yeah.
Actually, one of the patches that I saw on Poppins Patches when I was cruising his site before the show was a picture of Afghanistan, and it said, "The suits lost, not the boots."
Yeah.
And that essentially encompasses my entire idea of the government. The government is made up of humans. Humans are inherently flawed. So there are going to be issues when it comes to this kind of stuff. But we need to be able to lean back on our morals when we reach these kind of Rubicons in our lives. There should have been, in my mind, 9 out of 10 of those guys completely disobeying orders and going into that building and stopping that threat. That is what you are there to do.
Absolutely.
If you're not taking bullets, that means children are, and that's disgusting to me. So sorry to beat that like a dead horse, but a lot of people have been talking about that on the podcast the last couple of weeks, and I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't ever want to hear some former military guy just say, leave it to the professionals, because we saw what happened with that, right?
Yeah. Well, you said something kind of in there. You said something that stuck out to me is you said morals, right? Well, this country, the morals are pretty much gone, right? There's this poll just done, I think, last week. Over 50% of Americans, both left and right, think that the morals of this country are gone, right? A line on either side, nobody thinks anybody has morals anymore, right? So where do you get your morals from? Most people get it from Judeo-Christian values, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this before, right? So if there's no morals left, what do you follow?
There's morals out there.
There is. Of course there is, right?
Morals
There's
aren't
good
mainstream.
people. There's good people out there, right? Most people in this country are decent human beings,
Yeah.
right? They're moral, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder, blah, the whole thing. Almost said blah, blah, blah. Would that have been disrespectful?
Probably, especially
Probably,
since you just sound like a politician.
But, most people are, right? But there's the fringe people on both sides that talk about like certain things, and where do they get their morality?
They draw it from teachings that they learned in the home.
Yeah.
They don't draw it from, a government handbook or some class they took at uni, right? They should have gotten it from the home. And that circles back to the father thing,
Happy Father's Day, everybody. Yeah.
I came from a single mom who crushed it, trying to raise 3 kids and do the best that she can, but households need
So do you call her on Mother's Day and Father's Day?
That is a bit of a joke, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
We used to give her,
That is awesome,
we used
actually.
to give her Father's Day presents.
That's awesome.
And I know my dad might or might not be listening to this. It's no disrespect.
Yeah.
Right? But we had to do what we had to do, and that was my upbringing. That's the truth, and that's all I can say. But, we are lacking a lot of that kind of stuff right now because it's not sexy.
Yeah.
Morals aren't sexy. Doing the right thing, being virtuous. Nah, we want the scarlet letter and all that shit, right?
The Scarlet Letter.
That's great and everything, but there's not a lot of fulfillment that comes
Yeah.
from that. You get fulfillment from having a good moral compass and a strong foundation on how to be a good person and instill that in your
I
children.
think that comes from a good family.
I think it does.
I think that comes from moral parents teaching their kids moral values.
Yep.
Nobody's perfect, but there's always something that happens. But you'll notice a lot of the people that do stupid shit that cause all these stupid laws to happen are come from broken homes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really do.
Yeah, and it's perpetuated too, right? What happened to you as a child, you will perpetuate onto your children if you can't break the cycle,
Yeah.
right? We see that with abuse and stuff.
But as of like red flag laws, even Trump Jr. had something to say about that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Pretty
yes.
funny little meme here.
That was he just tweeted this out the other day. Number 2, please, Macho. Go ahead, David.
Imagine what Amber Heard would have done with red flag laws. Just think about that. That's not it. It's kind of funny, but it's not, right? She cried wolf like crazy. I'm glad Johnny Depp won that, by the way. Which it was all garbage, trash TV, but I'm glad he won. But she cried wolf. She cried wolf. She cried wolf. Look at me, poor woman, poor me. And she was the abusive one.
I thought this was brilliant. He got a lot of flack for this shit on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful because I think it's perfect because it's relevant. The shit just got over. The entire country was distracted by it. And if you actually understand where the potential of red flag laws could go, that hits the nail on the head.
Oh, yeah. Easily, right? You got a wife mad at a husband. He owns, guns. Boom, done.
Okay.
No due process, loss of rights, right there.
So let's
easy,
say,
quick and easy.
Let's say somebody made a threat online. They got red flagged. They had all their firearms taken from them.
Yeah.
Okay. What else can a red flag law be applied to? Oh, well, that guy's still got a job. He's got income. We should take his car.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to drive to work.
Oh, he misgendered somebody. Let's take it from him, right? Well, what do you want this to be? Canada? Come on. Or Australia? Come on.
I mean, we have a constitution. We have a Bill of Rights for a reason.
This is the country of Macho Man Randy Savage. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't nobody better than me.
The guy's a beast, but can anyone at any time accuse me of being crazy or violent? And then at that point, I mean, I've been called things before by people that have no idea who the hell I am.
Y cincuenta ocho.
Elitist.
Y cincuenta
White
ocho.
devil.
The white
White
devil.
White devil?
The white devil.
I did not know you spoke Swahili.
Bumblebee tuna.
Hey, that was good. That was when he was good.
Yeah.
That was
That's before he lost his fucking mind.
That was before he was an artist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's again, I want to reiterate this. It's obviously a huge, crazy, erroneous, open attack on the Second Amendment red flag laws.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment was written very specifically. If you understand the context of the language at the time that it was written, there are no questions about who the militia is or what the militia is or any of this other.
We are the militia. The militia.
Well regulated does not mean, having some oversight committee or some
No,
military.
it's the people fighting against the government is what it's supposed to be.
Being well
right?
regulated means having your shit tight.
Yep.
Right? It means having good boots and dry socks
Yep.
and, knowing
Keep
how
your
to,
powder dry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean that you have, some cop that you have to ask permission to carry a gun for, or storing my firearm in a gun range, which people have, suggested in the past. Right. So I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
That's just dumb.
I think the majority, if not all of the gun laws are unconstitutional and go directly against the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So I would like to see a little bit more constitutionality moving forward. But yeah, I mean, I even had one of my family members brought up the idea of red flag laws, and I'm not trying to bite anyone's head off here. I'm trying to have a conversation. I really do want to be able to have an open dialogue and a debate about what this is, and not try and shut down anybody because they're ignorant or morally bankrupt, right? I want to be able to have a conversation with individuals and let them speak and, let them be heard, right? So
absolutely.
That's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. On top of the Second Amendment, it's just a violation of the Fourth, Fifth, and the Sixth.
And without the Second Amendment, you do not have a first. There's no possible way. Which it's under attack right now too. A lot of people don't like the First Amendment. They don't like feely's hurt. You could say something mean to me. They don't like it, right?
There are people that I have been hesitant to tell that we are doing this because I know how abrasive it might come off. And
you need to fucking tell them.
I mean, I am. It's taken. It's gonna take what it's gonna take.
So basically, this is you coming out of the closet. That's what I was afraid the surprise was earlier. By the way,
I am a little more,
especially with that bag. It's like a makeup bag.
Yeah,
it is a makeup bag. How did you know
Ulta
that?
Beauty.
I looked it up.
Wait a minute,
Shampoos.
Macho Man, are you using Orby?
And the cream will rise to the top.
It's so lustrous.
Nobody better than me.
All right, so
that's enough of that shit. It hurts my throat.
That's our show for today. I mean, that's kind of what we got. We were talking about some other things, but yeah, it was fun. We're back. We're ready to hit it hard here the next couple of weeks and come up with some good stuff.
And for some reason, we're stuck in the 80s with late 80s, early 90s with movies and shit like that.
I love it.
People,
I love the
movie
vaporwave.
quotes, shit like that.
I love the vaporwave aesthetic. We're gonna work on a little bit of that. So if you don't have anything else, you can take us out. But yeah, again, enjoy Father's Day, man. Be men out there and help out
right
when you can.
now.
Let's do it.
All right, so same thing. Get up, move your. I was going to say something mean. Get up, move, do something nice for yourself. Do something different than yesterday. Love your kids. Love your wife. I got to keep this count. Love your kids. I think. Love your wife. Love your pets. They're awesome.
Yep.
We don't deserve dogs.
Nope.
Love your fish. Do not love your cats. They're bitches. But next time, voting's coming up here pretty soon. Just remember where we used to be at when you go and vote. Remember how good life was in 2019.
Just give
where the
yourself a
stock
temperature
market
check.
was, how your 401k was doing, the price of gas. Remember all that shit when you go to vote. I'm not saying you got to vote red across the board. I'm not saying you got to vote blue across the board. Just look at the people you're voting in and the laws and the shit that they're doing to this, this country, the entire country, not just state by state, right? Just pay attention to that when you vote and get out there and vote.
Yeah, we've said this before. Policies have consequences. We are here today because of the policies that were implemented, because of the legislation that was written, and because of the votes that were taken by the members that you.
Absolutely, and like I said at the beginning of this, you may not see it because the second quarter's not over yet. It will be in a few weeks. We're in a recession. We're definitely in a recession. It's going to get hit hard. Our interest rates are up to almost 6% for a prime home loan. Houses are sitting on the market. They're dropping in values. Pay attention to the bigger picture. Even if you're a renter, even if you don't plan on buying a house, pay attention to the price of gas. They say it's not tied to one to one man or to this administration. It kind of is. There's policies in place. A lot of oil companies don't want to spend billions of dollars on drilling. They may have the land leases, but they're not going to spend $1 billion on drilling if they're going to get shut down in 6 months and lose all that money. So pay attention to what politicians say. They're 90% of the time they're telling you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. So
Yeah.
that's all I got for you.
I like it.
And the cream will rise to the top.
We're going for a short here, so that's why. All right. We love you guys. Thank
right.
you for listening, and peace out.
Deuces.